Hello and welcome back to Edway. In this video, we are going to understand the client-server architecture. Let's simply understand the client-server architecture by using our own browser in our laptop. Okay, so I took my browser here and I am going to type http forever.com. Okay, so I am typing this and pressing enter key. So you can see that a website is loaded here. A website named HTTP Forever is loaded here. And you can see that the contents are displayed in the screen itself. Okay, so this much we can see in the screen. So what is happening here? The website of HTTP Forever is not stored in my browser, right? When I tried to enter the URL httpforever.com, something happened in the background, right? So some request was generated from my client side, my laptop side, and then it was went to some server, and the server returned the website to me. So I was not storing the website in my laptop itself. I was using the internet to reach the server where the httpforward.com website is stored, and then I took the website from there to my browser. Okay, so this is what actually happened. I am taking my whiteboard here so we can explain what happened in between. Okay, so I have my browser here or my computer here. I have my computer here and we have the server. We have the server for HTTP forever.com. And from our client side, client is us. We are the client. We are trying to request for a service. So we are the client. And a server is there for HTTP forever.com. Okay, server. Okay, a server is nothing but a powerful computer which can manage multiple clients at the same time and give them deliver them websites at the right time or deliver them another services at the time when they are asked to. Okay, so that is what a server is. We can come to our client server architecture. We have our client here, that is us, and we are trying to do what? We are trying to open our browser here. Okay, we open our browser, and in the URL section in the top, what we try to type? We type http forever.com. Okay, when we type this, what happens in the background? A request from our client side, our computer, is generated to where? Is sent to generated and sent to the server of httpforever.com. So when our client go to the browser and type the URL for httpforever.com, a client side request is sent to the server. Okay, so for the request, what the server does, the server just gives us a reply related to the request. Okay, whenever we send a request, we'll get a response to the request. Okay, so this is what is happening. We as the client is sending a request to the server, and the server, when it receives the request, it returns a response. Okay, this is what is happening. And this response, for every kind of this response, for getting the website from there, we are sending HTTP request. Okay, this is HTTP request. So what is an HTTP request? We can understand about what an HTTP request and response is. We are sending an HTTP response to the website server, and an HTTP response is returned back to us. Okay, so what is an HTTP? HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is a protocol used to transfer websites and related data. So we know that HTTP is a protocol. So if HTTP is a protocol, what actually is a protocol? A protocol is nothing but a set of rules. If there is a communication happening between me and someone, we have some kind of rules which govern the communication. That is like, if I am speaking to him, if he is a Malayali, I should be speaking in Malayalam itself so he can understand. If I know only English, he should be speaking to me in English, or else I will not be understanding. So there will be a set of rules which both parties agree before communicating. So that kind of a protocol is HTTP. HTTP has a set of rules where how the communication should be handled. So the server and the client will be having the communication all based on HTTP. And in the HTTP protocol, there is a set of rules which they should be following when they both communicate. It can be related to the packet structure and all. They will be having, for every data sent through the network, they will be having some kind of rules which governs them. So that is HTTP. So we can actually capture some HTTP packets and understand what happens in an HTTP protocol communication. In the case of http://forever.com, we can try to go deeper into the request and response for http://forever.com. So what we can do is we can go to the settings here. In the settings, we can go to more tools and the developer tools. Okay. What this developer tools does is that we will get some tools here which we can use to analyze the traffic which is flowing from our computer to the server, and also we can see the code of our website here itself. Okay, we can first go to the elements. In the elements, what you can see is we have the website here, the http://forever.com's website here, and for the website the code is given in the right side. So every of the website which we have in the internet is written with the code HTML, hypertext markup language. So HTML code is used to write the web pages. That code is available here in the elements. You can see the code for each of the things which are highlighted on the left side. So you can go to the code here and can go deeper. If there are any security flaws in the code, you can also find that. Okay, so you can see the you can see all the HTML code here in the elements. And another tab which we can go and explore is the network tab. So what is the network tab? If we are trying to make any request or response to the server, or if there are any response or request leaving from our computer, all these things are captured to the network here. So what we can actually do is we can reinitiate or restart the website or reload the website. I am reloading the website here, so you can see all the network activities happening in the right side. So I did a reload for the website. All the requests which is sent for the website reload was available in the network tab. So we can go to the first request which is sent to the server. So that is the request here. We can go to the headers here. In the headers, we can see that there is a request URL which is showing that the request URL or the place which we are trying to request, or the server which we are trying to request, is http://forever.com. So we got the request URL here in the header, and also the request method is mentioned here. What is a request method? So there are different methods for every HTTP request which we make. For every HTTP request which we make, there are methods like get, post, put, delete, and others are also there. So what is a get method? What does a get method do? The get method is used to get something from the server. So if there is a file in the server, we can get the file by using the get method. So we usually use the get method to get something from the server, get some file from the server. There are another methods as well. So just go into the detail of all that. And below that, there is a status code. So what is a status code? For every request which we make to the server respond with a status code. So what does the status code do? We can understand the status of the response. That means if we are requesting for a file over there, and if the file is not found, mostly you will be able to see a 404 response here. 404 not found. That means you may have all seen the 404 somewhere when you access some web pages. That means the request is not found. The URL which we requested is not found in the server. So that is the status code 404 me. So for every response, it comes with a response code. So that means we can understand what the response, whether the response was successful or not. So that is the status code. So there are a lot of status code for HTTP method, and you can see the remote address here and the port here, and there are some other things as well. So just understand this much for now, and we can see the response. So whatever response which came from the server is here. You can see that as well. The HTTP code, the HTML code is written here. HTML code is the response which we got for the http://forever.com's request which we sent. Okay, so that is it. So every time when an HTTP request is sent or HTTP response is received, it is all going as packets. So for every HTTP packet, there is a structure. What it have is, it have some headers. Okay, so it has some kind of headers, and also it has the body. Okay, so it has headers and it has the body. So what are the content of the headers? So if this packet is going to somewhere, some URL, the URL will be specified where it should go, where should the packet lead to. That thing is given in the header. So where it should be going, from where it is coming, and every data like that, which browser we are using, every that kind of data, every metadata will be included in the headers itself. And in the body, if there are some kind of page, a website which is written, or some file which is written, that file will be in the body. So when we from the client side send a HTTP request, that HTTP request will be using this kind of a format. That means in the format we will be specifying in the header which URL it is going to request. So to which URL the data is going, and from where it is going, and what kind of browser we are using, what kind of browser, and this kind of data will be transferred to the server. And for this transfer, what the server does is that server returns a response, an HTTP response itself, an HTTP response with the headers as to where it is going, to which computer it is leading to. It is our browser, so our browser's address will be there, and then some other headers will be there with the status code and all. Status code will be there, and also the body will be having the web page, which we requested. So this is what happens. So every HTTP request, it will be using this format to send the data and receive the data. We talked about HTTP and some of the packet structure and all. So we said that the packet has a specific structure. That means for every request and response, the request is sent as packets, and also the response is sent as packets, HTTP packets. And all these HTTP packets have a specific structure. So suppose we are the client, and there is a server for HTTP forever.com, HTTP forever.com. So we as the client sends a request, an HTTP request. We are sending an HTTP request to whom? To the server. So this request is an HTTP request. If we are sending an HTTP request, it will be an HTTP packet. Okay. So it will be an HTTP packet. So the packet has a structure. It has headers and also the body. It has headers and also the body. And the same case is true for the response too. That means if the HTTP forever server is giving us a response, the response is an HTTP response, and for the response also a packet structure is there. That means the response will be also sent to us in a packet structure with the headers and also the body. So what kind of headers will be in the request, and what kind of headers will be in the response, and what kind of body will be there in the request, and what kind of body will be there in the response. We'll be going into the depths of this format in the coming videos. Thank you.